Okay. Hello, all of you. My name is SNEHA LIMAYE and I've been teaching quantitative aptitude for the CA Foundation exam. Okay, so now when it comes to maths, tell me what is your favorite topic, or let us bifurcate it into two parts, algebra and geometry. Which is your favorite one? Geometry, is it? Arey wow, very good. Generally, many people, खूप लोकांना algebra is more easier. No, it's not. What about you? No? Okay, all right. So, this is a very, actually, we can say that this is a very scoring subject, maths, when it comes to maths. And you can increase your score or increase your percentage by maths. Okay, but the main thing that you have to remember is you will have to keep all your basics together in one place. Manje, in the sense ki, ata if you see this particular chapter number 1 is ratio and proportion. So have you learned about ratio and proportion before, up to 10th standard, all of you? Okay. So now suppose if I tell you, we are going to compare one quantity with respect to another quantity. Okay. So if I say, let's say the number of girls in this class are 4. So let us find out the ratio of number of girls to number of boys. Yes, only boy. That's right. So it is going to be 4:1. Huh? So what is the meaning of that? There are 4 girls and there is 1 boy. But if I want to, let's say, take the reciprocal of this ratio, so then in that case, what I'm going to say? Number of boys to number of girls. So what is the ratio of number of boys to number of girls? 1:4. So is 4:1 and 1:4 equal? No. My point is that when we talk about ratio, we are going to compare two quantities. The first quantity will be in the numerator and the second quantity will be in the denominator. So that is a ratio for us. Okay. Now suppose if I give you an example of ratio as we have got a ratio 36:45. This is our ratio. And we have to convert this ratio to the lowest form. Always, you know, in case of fractions, we convert it to the lowest form. So how do we do that? Okay, so divide by which number? Can you tell me? 3 nahi hona. So 3/3, which is going to be so again, is this convertible to the lowest? Can we convert it to the lowest form again? Yes, because this is not the lowest or the simplest form. So I'm going to divide it by 3. So now I'm getting the ratio as, so this is the simplest form of any ratio, correct? So can you just write down a few things which I dictate? First, write down what is a ratio. As you can see over here, in our textbook also, chapter 1 is ratio and proportion. So a ratio is said to be a comparison of sizes of 2 or more quantities of the same kind by division. So we say A and B are the 2 quantities of the same kind. So just write down the first sentence which you can see over here. A ratio is a comparison of sizes of 2 or more quantities of the same kind by division. So basically, if A and B are 2 quantities of the same kind, then the fraction A upon B is called as A:B. Okay? A:B. So Now we know that in a ratio there is a numerator and a denominator. Okay. So the numerator is called as the first term in the ratio, which is called as the antecedent. Okay, you should know these names. And the second term is called as a consequent. Huh? So the ratio in a ratio, the numerator part is called as the antecedent and the denominator part is called as the consequent. Okay. Now there are two remarks which are written over here, as you can see. Both terms of a ratio can be multiplied or divided by the same non-zero number. Okay. So now in this case, suppose we have got this ratio as 4:5. Okay. And if I want to find out an equivalent ratio of this, see, all these are basics which are done already in 10th standard, right? Up till 10th standard, everybody has studied ratio. So when I say that 4/5 is a ratio that is given to us, suppose, and we have to find an equivalent ratio. So as the name suggests, equivalent means what? Equal ratio. Huh? And how will we get the equal ratio? By either multiplying both numerator and denominator by the same number. Okay. So what I am going to do? Multiply this by 3 into 3. So you have to remember these two numbers have to be one and the same. Huh? So when we multiply, what answer are we going to get? So understood? So what is the meaning of this? Whenever a ratio is given to us and we have to find out an equivalent ratio, what you are going to do? You are going to multiply either by the same number to both numerator or denominator or divide by the same number. So इथे आपण lowest form जेव्हा केलं तेव्हा we divided it by 3. Understood? Up till here? Usually a ratio is expressed in the lowest form. So now they have given us an example, 12:16. Okay. So 12:16 means what you are going to do? If you have to convert this to the lowest form, what will you do? Suppose the ratio is given to us as 12:16. Now tell me which is the antecedent part? Correct. Which is the consequent part? So now we have to convert this to a lowest form. So what will you do? So think कसं करायचं? 12 and 16 come in which table? 4. So I am going to divide this ratio by 4. So basically divide both numerator and denominator by 4. Understood? So these are the basics. So now when we divide, we get the answer as 3:4. Is it easy? Okay, just write down these parts, this example, first, second and third. हो घेणार आहे ते सांगते. येस, नक्की नक्की. येस. हां, फक्त आजचं फॉर वनच मी घेईन. So understood, everyone? So here, the next part which they have given is the order of the terms in a ratio is very important. So as I have already told you, if I say number of girls to number of boys, number of girls has to be in the numerator part and then will be the number of boys. But if I ask you that the ratio of number of boys to number of girls, so choose the numerator correctly. If you make any mistake in that, then your final answer will be wrong. So don't do that. Ratio exists only between quantities of the same kind. Ata, now I have one question for you. Do we say that ratio has got units? Does ratio has any units? म्हणजे जसं length ला unit आहे meter, okay? Distance ला unit आहे kilometer. Does ratio have any unit? No. The answer is no. But if I tell you that you have to find out a ratio of 2 kilometers is to 1000 meters. Now here the quantities can be given in different units. But first thing that you have to remember, whenever there are two quantities given to you in different units, first convert them to the same unit. Okay, and there is a rule for that. Whenever we change a bigger value or a greater value to a smaller value, that is in meters, we are going to multiply by 1000. Why? Because 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters. But when we have to convert meter to kilometer, we are going to divide. So this holds true for all the quantities. Whenever you have to find out bigger quantity or you have to convert bigger quantity to smaller, multiply. Whenever you convert smaller quantity to bigger, you have to divide. Okay? So now here they have asked us to give us a ratio of 2 kilometer is to 1000 meters. So now tell me, if 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters, what will be 2 kilometers? So always remember, both the units have to be in the same measure when you take a ratio. So this answer we are going to get as 2000 upon 1000. So what is the ratio in the lowest form? 2:1. Have you understood this? So just write this down. This example along with whenever you have to convert a greater quantity to smaller quantity, multiply, smaller to greater, divide. I hope this is clear. Now find out the ratio of 2.5 meters to 6 centimeters. Find out the ratio of 2.5 meters to 6 centimeters. Now tell me how much is 1 meter? 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So if I have to convert 2.5 meters to centimeters, it would be 2.5 multiplied by 100. Correct? So the answer is going to be now you can take the ratio. So 250 centimeters upon 6 centimeters. Convert this to the lowest form by dividing it by 2. 125 upon 3, that is the ratio. So the antecedent in this is 125 and the consequent is 3. Okay? So remember this. Oh, sorry. Write it down. Everybody got the answer? So let us go to the next part. Okay, how many of you understand Marathi? No one. Okay, all right. So 125 is to 3. Our ratio wala. That's the ratio. See, now here they have given you two things which you have to remember. There is no ratio between the number of students in the class and the salary of a teacher. Correct? And there is no ratio between the weight of one child and the age of another child. Correct? Because the quantities whose ratio is asked, those have to be of the same kind. Then only you can get a ratio. Understood? Now here they have given you two examples, 150 gram and 2 kg. So this is already in gram. So we have to convert 2 kg to grams, which is nothing but 2000 grams. So 150 divided by 2000, answer comes out to be 3:40. Always write down the answer in the lowest form. Okay? Done? Now as I was telling you regarding equivalent fractions. Okay. So what is the meaning of equivalent fractions? Suppose if I give you an example, let's say can I say this ratio is equal to let's see. Okay. Now I'm going to take the first ratio 25 divided by 75. Convert this ratio to the lowest form. So answer will be 5 upon, correct? Again divided to the lowest form. So it will be, now this is the lowest form. Okay. Now let us consider about 50 and 150. So what I am going to do, divide directly both numerator and denominator by 50. So now can we say both these ratios are equivalent? So always remember, whenever you have to find out equivalent ratios, first convert them to the lowest form and then check whether they are equal. Okay? So write down this example. Equivalent ratios. Give the heading as equivalent ratio and then write it down. These are all the basics from which I am going to start the ratio chapter, because once your basics are clear, it is very easy for you to solve the sums then. Okay? And in competitive exams, always remember, clear all your basics and stick to your basics. Okay? So you should know all the basic rules before solving any chapter. Check whether these two are equivalent ratios. 4 upon 12 and 100 upon 120. Four upon 12, if I have to convert it to the lowest form, I am going to divide by 3. Sorry, not 3, 4. So that comes out to be 1 by 3. And if I want to convert this to the lowest form, nahi yet hai. So if you want to convert this to the lowest form, it would be 5 upon 6. So therefore, they are not equivalent ratios. So 11th, 12th, madhe, how many of you had maths as a subject? You also. Okay. So I have to go like this only. That means, all right. Don't worry, I'm there to teach. Okay. So these are not equivalent ratios. Understood this part? Hmm. Now let us take this particular example which they have given over here. 2 integer 1 by 3 is to 3 integer 1 by 3. You have to find out this ratio. Now fractions base. आपण हे सगळ्यांनी स्कूलमध्ये केलेलं आहे. So when you convert a mixed fraction to an improper fraction, what do? 3 multiplied by 2 plus 1 upon 3 is to 3 multiplied by 3 plus 1 upon 3. So this is 7 by 3 is to 10 by 3. Correct? Now these two are in fraction forms. So when we take a ratio, what do? The first ratio is taken as the numerator and the second ratio is taken as the denominator. Now fraction division. Denominator, you have to convert it, take its reciprocal and then you have to convert it to multiplication. Can we write it like this now? So this and this will get cut. What is the ratio? Which is nothing but the lowest form. Understood? Write it down. So this is an example of fractions and we are also going to take an example of decimals. नाही आहे ना तसं, कारण लिंक मॅम वापरतात वर. नाही, त्या म्हणाल्या नाही वापरायचं आहे आज, बंद करा म्हणाल्या मला. ऑनलाईन कोणी नाही आहे असं तुम्ही मला सांगितलं. तू सायली मॅमशी बोललीस का? हां, एक आहे का ऑनलाईन मुलगी कोणी? कारण त्या वरती लिंक वापरतायत. मग मी वेगळं पाठवू का? हां, तो प्रॉब्लेम येणार, म्हणून आज असं झालं. बाय. झालं 7:10 आलं आन्सर. Chalo, let us take one more example of this kind. Take this ratio and tell me what ratio would you get. Take this example and tell me how to solve. So basically ratio is what? Comparison of one quantity to another quantity. That will give us ratio. Is this the answer? Correct? So now 50 is to 27. Can you convert this to the lowest form? Is it possible? No, this is going to be the lowest form. Okay. समजलं सगळ्यांना? ओके. Now 3.6 is to 4.8. The next ratio is 3.6 upon 4.8. So always remember whenever there are decimals, try to convert it to normal numbers. So what you will do? I am going to multiply both numerator and denominator by 10. Huh? So if I do so, I am going to get the answer as 36 upon 48. So whenever why we are multiplying by 10 depends upon this, because after decimal point there is one digit. If after decimal point there are two digits, then you will multiply by and so on. Okay. So now 36 to 48, convert it to the lowest form. Upon 48, convert it to the lowest form. Correct? Easy? समजलं आतापर्यंत? Okay. Now take one more example. (9.6 is to 2.54. Find out the ratio. 9.6 upon 2.54. Correct? So convert it to the lowest form now. Divide by 2. हाँ, आता हे वाला काय केलंय? 9.6 आहे. हाँ, म्हणजेच is 9.6 equal to 9.60? हाँ, आता काय केलं? After decimal point किती digits आहेत? 2 आहेत. म्हणून what I did, I multiplied both numerator and denominator by 100. हाँ, मग जेव्हा आपण मल्टिप्लाय करतो तेव्हा डेसिमल पॉइंट इज गोइंग टू शिफ्ट टू द राइट हँड साइड बाय 2 डिजिट्स, कारण 100 आहे म्हणून आलं 960. आणि डिनॉमिनेटर मध्ये 2.54 into 100. So decimal point again shifts to the right hand side by 2 digits. So 254. Understood? आता converted to the lowest form. What is the answer? Okay. So you are dividing it by 2. (480 upon). So this is the lowest form. Good. Understood up till here? Chalo. Now let us move to the next. Okay. Now the next property of ratio is given to us that if a quantity increases or decreases in the ratio A is to B, then the new quantity is nothing but B by A of the original quantity upon A. Okay. So let me explain this with the help of an example. Suppose we have a ratio 22 upon 7. Now, if I convert this ratio to its reciprocal, it will come out to be, that is nothing but so if I say if this is given to me, so in this case this is the ratio, then can I say it will give me the answer as 7 upon 22? Is it possible? Only when you multiply it by the reciprocal, you are going to get the value as 1. So the same thing they have explained it over here. If a quantity is increased or decreased in the ratio A is to B, then new quantity will be B by A of the original quantity. So initially the ratio was given to us as 22/7. Now the ratio is increased by 3. कळलं मी काय केलं? Numerator is increased by 3. Similarly, denominator is also increased by 3. So 22 plus 3 is 25, 7 plus 3 is 10. Now I am going to say, if I multiply, so basically if I have to find out this particular quantity, so here they have given us, okay, now I think this example is more easier to understand. See, check this. Raunak weighs 56.7 kgs. If he reduces his weight in the ratio 7:6, find his new weight. So the original weight क्या है रौनक का 56.7. Okay. When he is going to reduce his weight, क्या होगा? It will reduce in the ratio 7:6. So in order to find out his new weight, what you will do? You will take a reciprocal of this ratio and multiply it by the original weight of Raunak. So 6/7 multiplied by 56.7, answer comes out to be 48.6 kg. Understood this part? Write this example down. Write this property, that if a quantity increases or decreases in the ratio A is to B, then new quantity is equal to B upon A of the original quantity. So is the ratio part clear up till now? Everything? See, I am going to take all the solved examples from the module because based upon solved examples, many sums are asked just by changing the numbers or values. So we are going to do all the solved examples and then exercise in that particular module. Okay? Now, if you observe here in this particular example, Raunak's weight was given to us and then they have told us that he is reducing his weight. But instead of this, if I write Raunak weighs 56.7 kg, if he increases his weight in the ratio 7:6, then what you will do? How will you find out his new weight? Divide करून म्हणजे काय divide करून? What will you divide? Okay, let us take this example, okay? Same example. Weight of Raunak is given to us as 56.7 kg. And he has increased his weight in the ratio 7:6. And now you have to find out the new weight. Okay. Now this ratio is given to us. What is the meaning of this? So I'll write it down like this. We have to find out old weight and a new weight. So old weight is already given to us as 56.7. So when we say it is going to increase, means what? shall I divide this original weight, shall I multiply this original weight by 7 upon 6? See, when the ratio is given to us as 7 is to 6, okay, and if it is decreasing, means it should decrease. So the, okay, so in that case, it should be 56.7 upon x, because weight is decreasing in that case. Huh? So if I want to find out the value of x, what will I do? I will cross multiply. So 7 into x is equal to 6 into 56.7. So that will give me the new weight. But in this case, his weight is going to increase. Huh? So if his old weight was this, we have to find out his new weight. I will write it down like this now. हे समझता है? Lower G value है, that is the numerator. Greater value is the denominator. Why? Because his weight is increasing now. It is not decreasing in this case. So here itself I have taken the reciprocal. So now if I want to find out the value of x, what will be my answer? Cross multiply. Find out the value. So this is 3969 upon 3969. No, I did not get it. See, this is going to be the answer now. Calculate this on the calculator. 7 into 56.7 upon 6. Upon 6. Entire thing is understood? So that time, so you have to take those values correctly depending upon whether it is going to increase or decrease. Take the ratio accordingly. हाँ मी चुकून लिहिलं. एवढं वेट असू शकत नाही. Not possible. Okay. हाँ आलं लक्षात? Easy? Okay. Now, so आता let me first give you my introduction जे मगाशी आपलं राहिलं होतं. I have been teaching maths for nearly 12 years now, and I have started with lower standards, okay, as a teacher. Actually, I am a computer engineer and I was teaching in Modern College of Engineering, okay. But when I understood, see, I love maths very much, okay. So when I understood that many students, need a helping hand in maths, I decided to start my own classes and I have been teaching ever since, okay. I have taken for different levels. So my main thing which I have observed is that whenever the basics are not clear, the students are not able to do maths or they have a fear of maths because of that, okay. So I am here to completely, change you into such a way that you will start loving maths once you start getting correct answers. So I have been teaching CA Foundation students, 11, 12 students, as well as 10 standard, 9 standard students, and engineering or technical students as well. Okay. So I have a vast experience. So feel free to talk to me if you don't understand anything. Clear all your doubts because that is very important. Luckily, since we are a small group, it will become very easy for you to connect to me. If you have any doubt of any kind, please feel free to solve it. I'll help you to solve it. All right. So now I want your introduction, all of you. So starting with you, what's your name? Okay, Sejal. And what you are doing right now? F5. Okay. What about you? Okay, Kasturi. Are you related? Okay. Oh, good. Okay. And what's it? Huh? Okay. Okay. All right. So now I think we will stop up till here for today because these are just the basics which we have done. Also, I want to give you the marking scheme which they use for CA Foundation. So just write down the topics. हो दाखव. हे वाला. हे. अच्छा, बुक मधला क्वेश्चन. ओके. So I'm going to give you the chapter wise weightage after we finish this. Are you a new student? CA Foundation? Okay, yeah. What's your name? Srishti. Okay. And you are? Okay. Sit. Yes, Lala? Okay. Now, just write down. Right now, I am giving the chapter-wise weightage for each chapter. Okay, in CA Foundation. So write down the name of the chapter and the marks allocated. So make two columns. First chapter is going to be ratio and proportion. I'm going to dictate the name of the chapter, okay? First chapter, write down ratio and proportion. Number of marks allocated is 2 marks. First chapter, ratio and proportion. Number of marks allocated is 2 marks. Next is indices. I think I'll write it down like this. Indices, which is asked for 1 mark. Logarithm, which is asked for 2 marks. Then linear equation, 2 marks. Quadratic equation, again 2 marks. Then sixth one is mathematics of finance, simple interest. Mathematics of finance, simple interest, which is asked for 3 marks. Next, mathematics of finance, compound interest. This is asked for 4 marks, compound interest. Then, again the same heading, mathematics of finance but annuity. Number of marks allocated are 4 marks. Next, inequalities. Inequalities. It is for 3 marks. This is an important chapter, permutation combination. Permutation and combination. 5 marks. Sequence and series. Sequence and series. 6 marks. Sets, function and relation. Sets, function and relation. 7 marks. Sequence and series, I told you 6 marks. No, it is 4 marks. Sorry. Please change these to 4 marks. Okay, next chapter, calculus. Calculus, 3 marks. म्हणजे integration and derivative. Calculus, integration derivative, which is asked together for 3 marks only. Then comes logical reasoning part. Calculus मध्ये लिहा derivatives and integration. After calculus, just write down in bracket derivation and integration. Derivatives and integration. Next, now we will start with LR. LR is logical reasoning. In logical reasoning, there are 4 parts. Okay. Logical reasoning is quite easy. Next one is LR, logical reasoning. There are 4 chapters. First is number series, coding and decoding. Number series, coding and decoding. It is asked for 5 marks. Next, number series. After that, write coding and decoding. Then direction test. Direction tests, again 5 marks. This is on an average. The marks are on an average. Third, seating arrangement. Seating arrangement. Seating arrangement chapter is asked for 4 marks. Then the fourth, blood relations. Blood relation. That is asked for 5 marks. So these are basic 4 chapters of LR, logical reasoning. Okay. So they generally carry 20 marks weightage on an average. Next. Now, we are going to start with statistics from here. So, under statistics, there are 3 chapters under statistics. First is description of data. Description. And it is very easy, so don't worry. All these marks you can get very easily. Description of data, that is for 6 marks. Central tendency. Central tendency in under statistics only. Central tendency is asked for again 6 marks. Third is measures of dispersion. Measures of dispersion. Five marks. Okay, so these 3 chapters are based on statistics. Again, roughly 19 to 20 marks. So, main you have to focus on these chapters. Okay, they are important. So, you can easily score 40 marks. Then next, probability. Probability. That is asked for roughly 5 marks. 17 is theoretical distribution. Theoretical distribution is for 6 marks. Theoretical distribution. Sampling theory. Next chapter. Sampling theory. This also is a part of statistics again. Sampling theory. Actually, you should have included it here only, but that's fine. It's asked for 2 marks. Then correlation. Correlation. Correlation is asked for 3 marks. Regression analysis. Regression analysis. Roughly 3 marks. And last is index numbers, 4 marks. Last one is index numbers, 4 marks. Understood? So, we have started with the first chapter, ratio and proportion for the newcomers. Okay. So, do you know what is a ratio, both of you? Ratio is comparison between 2 quantities, correct? So, if I say right now, tell me the ratio of number of boys to number of girls. How many number of boys are present in the class? 2. How many girls? So, ratio of number of boys to number of girls would be? So, the numerator part in any ratio, that is called as the numerator part is called as the antecedent, and the denominator part in the ratio is called as a consequent. So असे जर words वापरले तो you should know म्हणून मी हे सांगते. Antecedent and consequent. Can you see this term? First term is called as the antecedent, and the second term is called as a consequent. Okay. So if I give the ratio 4:5, what is the meaning of that? 4 is going to be our antecedent and 5 will be our consequent. Understood? So, thoda sa ratio we have done up till now. You came a bit late, both of you. So, tomorrow come on time so that you will understand it much better. Okay? So, I think we'll stop here for today. Bye-bye.